Good afternoon and welcome to the National Honey Show. So the first day of the National Honey Show, we're down at Esher, Sandown Park in Esher, in southwest London. Very handy for the M25, the M3 and the A3 if you want to visit us. The show started a couple of hours ago with some lectures. And our first lecture was given by Dr. Humberto Boncristiani, our guest here today. And it was on the topic of how pesticides harm honeybees and their keepers. I was very interested to go to that lecture. I was very pleased to be able to do it. I thought it was a really important lecture as well, talking about the way the pesticides interact with each other and us and other insects. So, Humberto, could you tell us, just summarize quickly what you've been saying?
Yes, it's something about, the talk was more about how we as human species, the species itself is able to generate so much solutions about all kinds of problems. And one of the solutions are chemicals for agriculture, but also sometimes we know they have synergistic effects and they interact with each other. And my concern is I start to raise the question if we have enough power in the regulatory field to make sure we're able to cover all of that. And I don't think we do it. So I start to interact more with beekeepers and other people to see if we can find solutions for that kind of situation. That's the whole point of the talk.
All right, thank you very much indeed. I used to be in environmental health,
Okay.
And so I was a bit of the regulatory, and any kind of regulation was quite difficult. I was at a very local level, and I was aware that there are things going on at much higher levels. You mentioned the EPA, which is the American Environment Protection Agency, but in the UK we have the Environment Agency and various other regulatory agencies. You were saying, I think, that you have 17,000 different pesticide products in the USA.
There are, that's the number I got from the internet. If it's 1,000, it's already too high.
A huge number. It's a huge number, yes. You mentioned that one of them, I can't remember which one it was, you gave an example of its toxicity.
Yes.
And then you said that if it's combined with a very small quantity of a second chemical, its toxicity has increased 100-fold, which is extraordinary. And then I'm not a mathematician, so but you said 17,000 factorial.
Factorial to me, I don't even want to know the number.
It's just an infinite number of possible
infinite,
combinations.
yes,
We don't know
infinite.
what the consequences of any of them are. I was thinking during your talk about Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring, when she talked about DDT.
Yes.
And I think there are quite strong parallels there. The consequences of DDT were a huge number of insects destroyed, but also other species were affected. And so you're talking about something that has on humans as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's one of my biggest concerns is when I try to put this talk together. It's not that I'm against the solutions or we creating different chemicals for some specific things. What my concern is that some of the solutions for specific problems are reaching out other people that without their permission, without they even know what's going on. And that's to me is the biggest problem in that, because when you don't know, you don't know. And then you have nothing, you can't do anything about it. Sometimes it's too late. And that I like to do the parallel with the American freedom. That we have this thing in America that we can respect private property. We have that, very straightforward things. Don't mess with my thing. Government, get out of my way. It's something that I admire, and that's something that I was connected coming from Brazil, and I really enjoy that kind of thinking. Lets the people interact with each other and make their own decisions and choice. They have choices. In this case, nobody have choices. It's already in your water, in your food, and I have problems with that.
Yes, I can understand that. Just for information, Humberto started life in Brazil, and then in 2006 you were recruited to go to the USA.
2006, yes.
Yeah, to investigate what we know as the colony collapse disorder. And the virology behind that. And then this developed into an interest in the pesticides and the chemicals that are being used. So you have a really broad scientific background.
I would say yes. When you do transitioning of different fields, you have to expand your expertise. I was forced that not many scientists need to pass through. I was in a medical school in Brazil doing virology, actually researching vaccines for kids, for children.
Yes, you said yes.
Human virology. And then at the United States, the bees start to die, and the USDA were looking for a very specific person with a specific background with virology and beekeeping. And apparently I was unique in that category, and the United States brought me in. It was fascinating, which made me from the medical field, virus, human, to a completely different ball game that I need to reevaluate everything that I did in the past. And that was very educational for me to expand the mind.
You mentioned that you're a second generation beekeeper.
Yes.
Glad to put you
Yes.
onto this effectively.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it says, but you said help the bees and help the keepers.
Yeah, that's when you move from your original country, you're gonna leave your family behind. There is
Yes.
a lot of, it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And I remember Dad holding my hand, my arm, and said, "Remember where you're gonna do that. You're gonna take care of the bees and the beekeepers and nothing else." And that's something that I'm trying to do, which is hard. It's very hard because I have all those projects that at least I think is gonna be better for us. And I always stuck in this similar problems, and that's what this whole thing with the regulatory path is creating a shift in my mind, how we can work this out that allow people to have more choices.
And you're saying that the regulators, you feel, are fairly, I'll use the word compromised. You
Yes
described
and no. Yes.
described a product that would enable you to use 90% less of a treatment,
Yes, there are
but you
situations.
couldn't get it through the regulator without doing a huge amount more testing at enormous expense. And that was because the regulators were anxious about being sued, I think you said.
Well, I like to see the things always from the side of incentives. And when you put the personal responsibility to somebody else, in the case is the regulators, they feel that they need to take care of you, but first of all, they need to take care of themselves. Because if something happened with something they release, they're going to be the first one to get sued. Fair enough. But that also create an extra layer of incentive. So they're so concerned about that. They start to create what I see sometimes, paranoia. Like in this case, is a chemical that is already approved in the United States. Beekeepers are using constantly, and even in illegal ways, in high doses, because it's hard to. So there is this company that invests all this time and resources to bring a new product that will really reduce the amount of that chemical 90%. But because the release of the chemical is slightly different from the original formulation, it stopped the whole system. The beekeepers were never gonna have a chance to use. They're not gonna have the choice. And I think that's important to me. People need to have the choice to bring something in their lives and the choice to get rid of that from their lives. And regarding chemicals and pesticides, we don't even know what's going on. That's still something that I want to talk about more. Yeah.
So we're focusing on sort of minute detail of the application method of a chemical.
Yes, was a spray with a little fume instead of a paste and a liquid, which is the way it was approved. It was a little. They heat in a piece of paper. They put the chemical in a paper and use a little, burn it and create a little smoke. Very precise. In the middle of the night, just a little pulses. It to me becomes like it's a common sense. I don't think that's going to be it's the possibility for that to be worse than what is already approved and being used is almost zero. In my mind, we should have some kind of common sense in that we can at least give the chance for the beekeepers to use and see, oh, it's really working. And we're reducing the amount of chemicals. Good. Reducing the price. We don't need to buy too much of this stuff. So I don't see why we can't do that.
But there's also a disincentive for the manufacturers to do something like that. Because if I'm selling £100 worth of something and suddenly the market is now only £10, this is affecting my profit margin, this is affecting my sales, and my whole viability. So we have thoughts in the UK that, you know, on occasion products have been suppressed because it's more effective, and because it's more effective, you would sell less, so products aren't being developed at all. Another point, I think, is that it was made, I think, by the supplement lecturer. If you have something that's 100% effective and you kill all the varroa, you just destroyed your market.
Yep.
Because I don't need to buy this anymore. You
Yes.
sorted it. The only example I could think of that actually happening was with polio vaccines and with smallpox vaccines. And polio is still around. And smallpox is now a disease that only exists in laboratories, thank goodness.
Yep.
But he was saying that, you know, the advantage of people to sell something that actually is 100% effective, it isn't driven by commercial interests.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The incentive is to get profits, and I'm not against people bringing value to somebody and getting profits from that. So that's, I think, when you're talking about medical areas or veterinary areas, we need to create something different that might be coming from the people themselves, because that's the people have the right incentives. I want a cure. I don't want a little pill for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So that's why my big dream in life is, I was telling in a talk that we're going to have in the modern houses in the future, we're going to have kitchens, garages, and little labs where people can do their little magic there and create the solution that they can spread for free if they want, because they can. And then that's going to be the right incentive to create cures, the real solutions that we're all looking for. That's my dream.
On a different tack, are you enjoying the Honey Show?
Yes.
You said you're a big fan.
Big fan. I follow for many years.
Brilliant.
And I told you, I took a little moment just to feel my presence, because I always look from the other side of the camera. That's very interesting, and see the people feel, you know.
Today is quite a quiet day. Tomorrow it will be heaving. Saturday it will be heaving. And there'll be so much going on. There'll be other lectures. Are you giving a second lecture?
I'm going to give 2 more lectures.
2 more lectures?
Yes, 1 tomorrow. And all of them are related. Today was the pesticides with the interaction, the synergistic effects that I'm talking about. I want to complement that tomorrow with how viruses take advantage of that. And at the end, how there is a project going on where we're trying to monitor all the spread of all the honeybee pathogens, because we have a situation where those pathogens are taking advantage of the new situations around the world and create even new pathogens.
Yes.
So there is a project going on called World Honeybee Health, and now is managed by COLAS here in Europe, the International Association of Honeybee Researchers, which is very interesting. So there's 2 more talks, and I'm very pleased to be here. I want to thank you, the committee again. This is the biggest honey show on the planet.
I know.
I know. How many entries? There was 2,500.
Yes, it's the biggest. I think 2,300 and something.
Wow.
More competitors as well. More. I did see the statistics, but I didn't expect it.
I couldn't be more proud to be here and invited. So I want to extend my thank you.
Yeah. And the range is fantastic. You know, there's honey, there's mead, there's beer.
I saw it.
There's candles, there's wax. There's people make wacky inventions.
Yes, I saw it.
I've been down there. There's a long arm with a pair of scales on one end, and I've got no idea what it's supposed to do.
That's why I like the people involved, because we never know when a good idea is going to come up and change the world, just like another member of this beautiful country of yours, Mr. Charles Darwin.
Well, yes, he was, absolutely. One of the delights here is that I get to see people like, I've been coming to the Honey Show for over 30 years. I've only missed one in 30 years. And so you get to know people, you know, people who you realise are really good friends at the Honey Show. You bump into them, you have a chat. We might have met them at other shows or through local associations. So, but I'm delighted to make your acquaintance and look forward to you being a friend at the Honey Show for many years to come.
My pleasure.
So thank you folks for watching. National Honey Show, Sandown Park, Esher, Thursday, today, Friday, Saturday, masses of amounts going on. As I say, there's lectures, there's workshops, there's the Honey Show, the chance to buy honey cake and honey. and it is just great. We'd be delighted to see you here. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.